Hey everybody, it's Jim here, and there's been a lot of announcements so far. I feel like the week has been spoiled for things like that, and a lot of the companies are going to be at NAMM, but some of them kind of want to get ahead of the curve because next week is going to be a circus with everything being released, and that's a good thing if you're into new gear. There were two things that I saw that were pretty cool, and obviously we're starting a little bit late today. It has been a lot. I feel like I'm saying that too often, and hopefully we'll get to a point in the next few months where we can just kind of relax and get back to how things used to be, just hanging out, talking about stuff, and not worried about so much of the external stuff. But it is what it is. Not much I can do about it. I apologize for the hour delay, but I want to start with two things I saw today. One of which I think is really cool. Sorry, I'm looking for the thing to make sure I have it queued up. I do. Um, but it falls into an interesting part of the market. It's the Walrus Audio Yvette Young pedal. I forget the actual name of it. We're gonna have to actually click on it, but it's the one that I featured in the title and the actual blah. It's key etherealizer in the thumbnail. So let's go ahead and we'll have a look at it. So the first thing I think of with this is it reminds me kind of like of the Chroma console, but a little bit more digitized, if that makes any sense. Um, I don't know. I think it's great though that Yvette gets to help design this. Like, if you're somebody who likes sort of ambient music and really over the top kind of almost synth ish kind of vibes going on, the way she is able to use all these effects, it's really unique, and I love the way that Walrus Audio has gone about implementing this into a much simpler kind of format and UI than other people that have tried similar things. If we go to the top here, we'll get there. I promise we'll get to the top. The IO is as easy as you're gonna get. You do have MIDI in and MIDI through, but it's the mini MIDI cables. That's really nice. It does have a USB, so you can connect it, and it's a modern USB, and it is stereo. That's it. Will work with the standard 9 volt. It needs 300 milliamps, but it's also available in a little bit of an easier to kind of read if you don't want to get all spaced out by the cool art design. I like the art design, and it's got presets that you can have into it. So what I find interesting about this is the price, because it's $450. Now I'm sure that this thing is very high quality. It's $50 more than the Chroma console, and perhaps I'm not here to say it does more than the Chroma console. It does things kind of in their own way. I would love to try this. I'd love to try this because this is more my speed than something where you have to digitally go through menus and stuff like that. I wish. No, no, thank you. Wait, I could save 15% on this? No, it probably won't let me. But we're not going to read all of this. If you guys want to, just go to walrusaudio.com and check it out. But I just, I the H9 is right there, but it's not going to be able to do everything that this is going to do. And then the other thing that puts all of these pedals, including the Chroma console, in a tough spot, in my opinion, when you price them at 450, it's old, I know, but the HX Stomp is what, $100 more used, or sometimes even less than that. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. But regardless, I'm excited to see this, and in its own right, for people that don't like digital and don't need every single effect under the sun, I think this thing is awesome. So we'll have to wait and see what other people think of it, because it's always good when you hear company reviews of something. Obviously, they're going to have their best possible work out there, and Yvette played it. You can't find many better players right now, especially one going for those sorts of styles to demo that piece of gear. So, yeah, we'll have to wait until the normal people and the less talented get a hold of it, and we'll have a better idea of what you could expect out of the thing, how easy it is to use, and all of that. Let me go ahead and say hello if everybody's popped in here. Howdy, y'all. Hey, Greg. Martian, you still want Yvette's T-style guitar. You know, Yvette has another guitar. This hasn't been announced yet. I don't think it was announced at all. If we go to Ibanez, because I know Ibanez is another brand that released all their stuff pretty much early. They were one of the first. And I didn't see her new updated model. This one has P90s in it, pink sparkle finish, and a maple fingerboard. It's still got the 6-point vibrato on it. So I kind of dig that it's got the vintage flavor on it. And I think she mentioned something in an interview about how she wanted it made in Japan because the other ones prior to that, the ones that came in the orange and the slime green, I want to say, those are Indonesian guitars. But the problem was, if you were savvy, you would know that the Japanese made Tallmans cost like $300 less than that. Hold on. Let me get my dog. Dog. Anyway, sorry about that. But anyway, so yeah, though the Japanese Tallmans, you know what? Let's look into that real quick. So look at the Ibanez stuff. Click this and go. Okay, so Ibanez, yeah, there's nothing on the Yvette Young. Doesn't look like. A lot of the new AZs were just kind of color refreshes and things like that, which is pretty cool in their own right. But I don't see anything for Yvette Young. Nothing. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll do this. We're just going to go to Ibanez, period. Electric guitars. And how hard is it going to be for me to find one of these? Okay, Yvette Young. There we go. We'll click on both. So this one is the most recent one. Not going to give me a price. All right, we got to venture to Sweetwater. $10.99 and $10.99. All right. Okay, Ibanez. That one's slightly damaged, but the normal J line Ibanez is 92,000 yen on sale right now. That's in really good price. A white one for 85,000, a shell pink one for 89,000 yen, and in case we'll do 89,000 yen to US dollars. Okay, guys, do you see why I haven't demoed one of those Indonesian made Yvette Youngs? It's nothing against her. I think it's a cool concept. But look at the price difference between a Japanese made one. Even if you factor in shipping, call your shipping and the expensive end. Call it $200. You're still under $8. You're still under $800. And you get a significantly better. Like, I'm sorry, man. Like, the Indonesian guitars, they're great. I got not a lot of bad things to say. I'm happy they're available. But instances like this is beyond a no-brainer. Like, if you want a Tallman, you should buy a Japanese one. It's not close. I will take Ibanez's Japanese manufacturing over anything else that they make. Period. So, and the fact that, they cost that much less. And it sucks because people like me, we know about this. Not everybody does. But you're getting really similar stuff. So let's click on the shell pink. This one's at Ishibashi, but obviously you can see Kurosawa and a bunch of other companies have it. You're still getting the 6-point. Pickups you can always change on this. And Yeah, hers has a tele style bridge on it. There are Japanese ones that have the tele style bridge, and then there are other ones that have different pickups in them as well. So it's like right now, this is kind of what they're going for. But as a whole here, it's I don't know. I don't know. Let's see if there's any other ones. 77,000 yen for that black one. Actually, no, it's not black. That's charcoal frost. I think I might have just found you guys the deal of the day. If you go to Digimart, go to the very bottom here. Is a complete like for like. Sorry. Sorry, a little out there today. But if we just look at these two, because, yep, so boom, 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 boom. It's the same guitar. One's Indonesian, one's Japanese. And one's hundreds of dollars less. Make of that information what you will. Funny, isn't it? Funny how that works. Okay, I get companies know how to make money, but man, that's a lot. That's a big difference. It's a big difference. And normally you would expect to see that in the other direction, but nope. All right, hey Stan and Simto, you just wish the Tallman had a 6 on the side headstock, not a 3x3. 3x3 looks very off balance on an offset guitar style to me. I understand that. I have a buddy that loves the Tallman. He loves it. His is an old one from the 90s. I don't mind the 3x3. I think the guitar already looks kind of screwy enough that I don't associate it as looking like a Fender. Actually, you know what? I kind of prefer it doesn't have the 3x3. It really makes it unique. In the same way that Ernie Ball, the Music Man's, they have it. They don't bother me on most of those, although those are, 4x2, I believe. And obviously PRS. And Lord forbid I talk about PRS anymore. I've angered enough people talking about the one of the three American big three American companies that actually give a damn and aren't just faceless private equity. But I digress. Different topic. But I could see it. The thing that I would like to see out of the Tallmans is a different vibrato unit. There's nothing wrong with the vintage one, but I think it would be cool if they did something different. Whether or not that's an offset vibrato, even a Bigsby, or if you wanted to just do something super modern, you could do like a Goto 510 on that, and that'd be gnarly. That'd be pretty gnarly. I think it would look great with the AZ style headstock. It's very Ibanez, but not pointy. Yeah, the pointy Ibanez headstocks have never been a big thing for me. Never been a big fan of that. But, I mean, some people are. Moving on, there's two other brands that were formerly associated in a weird way, but they're associated again that I want to talk about. And that's Fano. Now, Dennis Fano went on to start Novos, and obviously, these things have become very popular. And as of today, about an hour ago, they are going to be merging under a new British-based, now I found this interesting, parent company, Sonic. Would have been way funnier if it was Psionic. Sonic Design Lab. So what's going to happen is basically everyone that's in charge of their respective duties at Fano and Novo are going to retain those. Except now the Fano guitars are going to move to where the Novos are produced in Nashville. Wait. That's weird. Oh, never mind. I'm stupid. But then the UK people are going to be the COO. So, Neil Reed. I don't know anything about any of these people. This is way over my pay grade. And that's pretty much it. I just thought it was interesting that the two brands are coming back together after all these years, because obviously Mr. Fano started with Fano guitars and then moved on to Novos. And if I look, let's see. Maybe you guys have anything cool. Nah, not really. Not to me. Oh, see, you were just talking about the headstock thing and how that kind of bothers you. This is an easy fix because you literally just need to pick a different arm. That arm is repulsive. I'm not a fan of that at all, man. That looks super strange. It looks like one of my kids' straws that she bent and then we put in the washing machine. Like that's so weird looking. But and the only reason I don't think I'm ever gonna dev on one of these guitars, unless I'm at a place that has one to try out. Uh, it just doesn't look like to me, and this is just all the Novos. I don't know why they do this. It looks like there's no room on the upper side of the horn for your fretting hand. Like, look how many frets there are. Look where it meets, and look how many frets are left. And it just looks uncomfortable unless you have Greg Koch monster hands. So I don't know. But I did think it was cool that they're going back together again. I always like to see companies not only surviving but thriving and collaborating. And in this day and age, a lot of people are going under. So it's nice to see that when that's not the case. Click on here. Yeah, you hate that arm? Yeah, it's not a fan. That is weird. You love Dennis's work in general. He made a great design. He has a great design idea. You have a JM6 for years and it's the best playing guitar. You know what? The thing that always drove me nuts. I wanted the MG for a while. Because I made the stupid assumption of thinking it had a Mustang scale length. I wonder what would have made me think that. I mean, the body's a Mustang body, and it's got MG in the name. Only for me to find out once I was seriously starting to contemplate it, it does not have a Mustang scaling, so it's a completely redundant guitar to me. I don't know why so few builders will do anything with short scale guitars. I just don't get it. I don't get it at all. I really don't. But yeah, normal full scale length guitar. I mean, I got enough of those. I don't need any more of those. And obviously, Jaguar is impossible. I gave up on those. Rex texted me last night about the Jags, and I said, "Yeah, no, I'm done with it." I was gonna make a video, but I don't know. What I've come to realize about YouTube is the more you make it about yourself, kind of the less fulfilling it is. And you guys don't like how many times have I talked about the Jaguar? How many times have I slammed Fender for not doing it? I'm praying that Fender release a Jaguar. I have a feeling they're going to at NAMM this year. I think this is like super conspiratorial in my own head, but I think that's the only reason that I got a direct invitation to go. Is because I think Fender are releasing a Jaguar. I have no proof of this. But there was other channels that did not get the same offer that I got to go, that are bigger than mine, and all this. And I know I did have that one video about the Jaguar where I pointed it all out. And obviously I've done so much with offset guitars, but it's time to let it go. I can't keep chasing guitars. It's boring. It takes time away from doing more important things like playing music. You being you. Oh no, I appreciate that, and I know what you're saying, and I agree with you. I don't want to stop being me, but I also don't want to just make videos that are just so specific to me. Like, if I can make a video where I can still talk about all the stuff I want to talk about, but I can, give the people something interesting, or maybe potentially teach something, whether it is a riff or just something about these guitars or how to work on these guitars or just my own experiences, like, that's very different. But it's like personal stuff like, oh, I'm not going to look for this guitar. I'm frustrated. Fender Japan, they barely make any now. That's the whole thing that's going on there. The reselling prices are even worse than they have ever been, and all that stuff is true. But I've beaten a dead horse, man. I've just beaten a dead horse. So I just gave up. What I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to reassemble my Kids Classic Vibe with whatever the hell parts I have left lying around. And that's going to be it. If one day I find a neck for it, Great. I can't stand the laurel neck, but we're just going to live with it. And we're going to carry on and we're going to work on music and practicing and potentially filming some other sorts of stuff that isn't just gear reviews, which I started doing. I'm really excited. How many people in here? 14? I'm not going to spoil the world. So I reached out to one company right at the beginning of the new year that doesn't sell any physical products. You can believe that. And the whole thing is based on lessons. And I pitched to them like, look, in the past, I used to review guitar courses. I've had several people tell me that your program is fantastic. I don't want to review your course. But what I do want to do is I want to share your course with people. And I think we can come to a good mutual relationship here. And I can show before and after progress of myself. Because nothing speaks better than stuff like that. And there's like a wealth of information on here. And it's much more focused than some other places that I have reviewed in the past. And they agreed to do it. So I've been working on that for about a week. And I'm going to finish up a few of them and prep everything. I'm not going to rush to do it. I want to do it and I want to do it right. But it's going to be strictly lesson-based and strictly educational stuff to improve at the instrument. And hopefully some of you guys will carry over and give this place a try. I can't say anything other than that. If you can decipher who it is I'm talking about, that's fantastic. But until I get there and the first video is posted, then that's what I can tell you. But this is stuff that is happening. And I was so happy because it was something I wanted to do this year. And it's different. And I feel like it's more valuable. It's much more valuable to share ways for people to improve, to share experiences on things that work and things that don't work. Because everybody has a course online. Even people with like a fifth of the subscribers I want. Hell, I watched a guy, he's not even monetized. His first video ever. Like, and this is just a general mistake that I'm going to point out to you guys. If any of you guys want to start doing YouTube, don't do this because it immediately makes you look like you're in this for nothing but the money. First video ever uploaded. The description is like 15 or 20, I think, Amazon affiliate links. What are you doing? You haven't even introduced yourself to the world. You've provided no value. You've made no community. And you're immediately jumping to affiliate links. Unfortunately, I get it. Everyone wants to make money. But, yeah. I just, the whole product thing and the whole new thing, you got to buy the newest thing. I don't even think that's the case. Which I'm going to talk about even more with that guy that's behind me. The CE22. But, I don't know. Yeah, we're in a really good time for gear, for sure. And we're talking about new gear. And we're going to be talking about a lot of new stuff that comes out in the next week. Because it's NAMM. And I really wish I could go. I do. But life wasn't in the cards for me this year. Unfortunately. Anyway. We can focus on more positive things and we can focus on other stuff. And yeah, gear once in a while will be fun. But maybe we change into using the gear. Or maybe I just start screwing with y'all. And I do guitar comparison things where it's not like, oh, this is guitar A, this is guitar B. Where you're just going to listen to a 1 or a 1.5 minute clip of guitars in a mix. Where you're going to hear the isolated guitars. And at the end we're going to talk about it. Can you figure out which one was which? And then does it even freaking matter? Because stuff like that does matter too. So much of guitar YouTube is I find silly. Silly in my application. And when I say that, I mean like when I judge a guitar and how it sounds, it's how does it sound with everything else? Because I'll tell you the truth. I've talked about this before in the past. The last record I did in a proper recording studio, I had the PRS S2594. Now, this was before the pickups were changed to the American ones. I can't tell you how excited I was to use that guitar. I thought it was the most beautiful guitar I ever had. I loved it. I thought it played great. I got into the studio with that thing. Drums were already tracked. Two other guitars were already tracked. A piano was already tracked. Bass was already tracked. Vocals were already tracked. I was just adding a little bit more. And the engineer was just like, I come in here because he's a smart guy. He wasn't going to say to my headphones, to the feed, he wasn't going to say, this thing sounds like shit. He said, why don't you come in the booth, check this out. And I'm listening and I'm like, this sounds really dull. He's like, yeah. He's just like, I've actually been actively EQing it in the box here through one of his external preamps. He's just like, it's not what you want. He's like, I know it's not what you want. So why don't you go pick up your other PRS or the CE24, or if you want something else, use your Jazzmaster or your Jag. He's like, we know they're gonna cut through really well. So as good as like some guitars may sound in isolation, they don't always work in the context of a mix or in a live band. And I know there's a lot of people that have had that watch this channel because they've told me about it, whether we're streaming live or in comments. Like I love playing this guitar, but as soon as I brought it to practice or rehearsal or the first gig I brought it to, like it got lost. The guitar got lost. Now some of that is going to be down to the player not setting up the amp or tweaking the amp to really fit it, but sometimes it just ain't meant to be. It's all really specific, and that's why I've always had my niche for sounds I like. It makes my life a lot easier because I know how to dial them in so that they're going to sit well for the styles of music that I play. Sacrifices that is I'm an idiot with 99% of other music. But what I know I need, I can get it really quick. Let's see. You know what I mean? Just like that, I have a different style. People also change and evolve, so it's all cool. I agree with you, man. And I appreciate what you're saying. I really do. It means a lot. I still don't know how I'm doing this. I really don't. It just seems crazy. You've been checking out the Painted Player Guitar Co. I don't know who that is. They recreate famous guitars using the correct models of their sub-brand models. Expensive, but about what it would cost you to do it yourself. Now, when you say that, I mean, I gotta look now. We're going to copy and paste this. The Painted Guitar Brand Co. All right. Now I have to load up the second browser. I'll go to Reverb. And we'll see if anything pops up. Used. All right. We'll load this up. I get what you're saying now. So basically a replica of the Paul McCartney. Let's hear what these guys have to say. Using a refinished Gibson USA Les Paul. You're going to have to tell me more than that, sir. You're going to have to tell me which Les Paul that is. You can't just say an American Les Paul. Is it a standard? Is it a classic? I mean, the art looks awesome on this. I agree with you. Oh, that kind of looks like one of my kids' stickers. I think that's a 60 standard. So it's a 60 standard that they refinish. Now, is this actually painted on? Or is this some sort of like wrap? That's what that is the difference between me saying this is worth it or not worth it. If that's like just a generic wrap, I don't think that's worth it at all. If that's painted on, hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's fantastic if that's painted on. I love it if that's painted on. I mean, it says the Painted Player. But let's just read a little bit more. Hand-detailed tribute to the original artwork. Okay, so it's detailed tribute to the original artwork, which sits on Fiesta Red. Important information. Shop polishes. All this. All right, so it doesn't actually say. It doesn't actually say. Was this entirely hand painted or not? Because you can call yourself whatever you want to call yourself, like as a business. But if that's some sort of vinyl, and I know that there are lots of people that do that. Anyway, let's see what else they have. So this is a Baja Telly. That is a freaking fortune for that Baja. I remember they couldn't even sell those on Terry Katz, but the custom shop ones, but those are super expensive. This guy does not have the same caliber of camera. We're really not doing this poor company any favors here by using this other listing. However, we don't have many other things to look at. Judah guitars, looks like they do something like it. All right. Wait, what? Takeshi Teruchi of the Bunnies? Hey, I know where I clicked, but I saw this name and I was like, what? Bunnies were an awesome Japanese surf band. Why do you guys have to have it? Darn it. Anyway, I want to see something real quick. Let's go to their newest listings. Because guess what guitar is going to pop up on here? I can't wait to see what they price it at. I'll give you a hint. It was in a video, I think, 2 weeks ago. They bought a guitar from me. And I don't want to hear a single person complain that their price, which is going to be at least $1,000 more that I charged it for, is too much. I don't want to hear a single person complain because I had the price of this much lower than whatever they're going to have it listed at, even when I had it at the full price. It's not up yet. Okay. Give it a few days. It's the American Vintage 65 Jaguar. I can't wait to see what they charge for that thing. Let's get out of here. All right. I find it funny when I saw the person that bought it and where they were located, and they were like, "Oh, it's Mike and Mike's Guitar Bar." I was like, "So you're not buying this to own it? You're gonna try and resell this for a lot of money? And good for them. Don't worry about being late. It would cost quite a bit to get these paint jobs done by some local dude. Click some of the other listings. They have about 60 different famous guitars. Some are the right model, some are a cheaper version." Hold on, let me go back. I apologize, you're looking at the side of my head, people. But no longer. I'm reading the description here to see if there's not. Ugh, we don't need any other Kurt Cobain. We need no more Kurt Cobain anything. We need like a 50-year moratorium on any Kurt Cobain branded products. That'd be great. Oh, 2 of them. 3 of them. Oh, you guys, they're killing me right now. It's 3 so far. I don't want to see anymore. Fender have already destroyed entire runs of Jaguars and Mustangs thanks to that guy. I don't need third parties doing it. Let's see this one. This is Gary Moore. Now, is this one of the original greenies? A stunning USA Gibson Les Paul. I don't like that. I don't like that they're not just straight up about that. You should know exactly what model they used to do this. Now with this one, I'm assuming it is the greenie. It would make the most sense. You buy a used greenie and then you do this. But if I go to all their listings that have that, and they just say, a Gibson Les Paul. Like Using a stunted, yeah, dude, I don't dig that. I don't dig that. I don't dig that. It's cool, but I mean, I guess the other reason why I'm not really turned on to this is because I don't really care about other people's guitars. I don't know. Like when I was growing up and I started playing guitar, I did not have a guitar hero. I didn't learn from anybody. I mean, you could watch how I play. I'm a drummer. I'm very clearly a drummer that just learned some stuff on guitar and went from there. Like I did not have a guitar hero at all. I was too busy learning how to play punk rock and third wave ska music. So none of this stuff, like none of the guitar legends of lore, so to speak, have any effect on me at all. That's why I do always get a genuine kick though when people think just because I play offsets that I like Nirvana and stuff like that. When that could not be further from the truth. Not a fan at all. The Apple Boutique Casino looked pretty cool. You stumbled upon that because you were looking at modding a new deluxe for the Peter Townsends. The listing says that it's deluxe. Well, if I hope that they do that on all the listings going forward, but on the four that I just clicked on, it just says it's a Gibson USA Les Paul. That's not enough information. It's just not. That could mean anything. Yeah, but it's a cool idea, and if it's funny because we were just talking about like I was showing my kid. My kid wants to be an artist, and I was showing her Todd Krause when he did limited ones for Eric Clapton. Like he made like full on art pieces, but what he did was he included a guitar and an amplifier with inside the art piece. Well, look at me. I'm going right back to reverb again. God. But I'll show you because I showed her this yesterday, last night. All right. I hope I spelled this right correctly. I didn't. Okay. We're going to get there. There it is. Yeah, I was showing her this last night. And I was like, how cool is this? I was like, you know what? You want to get rich, kid? I was like, I'll get you a guitar and we'll pick up an amp. You do something like this, you do it well enough, people will buy it because that's amazing. That's a full-on display piece. Now, instances, I should say, like this, where you're using like a Mexican standard guitar and a regular Mexican standard amp. That's just a Pro Junior. Uh, I'm all down for that because it gets the aesthetic right, but it's not it's not a super high end guitar because it's not meant to be. This is meant to be a piece of art, and that's really cool. Man, what do you guys think about that? Art installations, custom ones like that? I dig it. I really dig that. Now that one's a custom shop, but there are some people that they'll do that with cheaper guitars because for mega corporation Fender that's a drop in the bucket, but for the average artist who wants to create something cool, that's extremely expensive, and really the value would be placed on the artwork that they do and the way that it works within the entire piece. And as you can see, that's the entire piece. I thought that was that's super awesome, super cool, man. Not stuff you see every day. And if you wanted to laugh, the reason that we even stumbled upon that too was she's like, well, how much does the most expensive guitar in the world even cost? Like $10,000? And I was like, no, a lot more than that. She goes, well, how much? So we looked up on Reverb. There's an old George Benson owned Gibson. I forget what model it was, but it was $1,000,000. She's like, what? She's like, somebody who paid $1,000,000 for a guitar. I was like, yeah. Oh man, you love the Crasho casters. Yeah, they're cool, man. I think there's a lot of cool stuff out there in the world. Like I just appreciate art. I appreciate handmade stuff. That's just the kind of person I am. So when I see things like that, I'm like, well, could I create that? No. Can I appreciate that? Absolutely. Because I know how much hard work goes into that stuff. Like even my wife, who made the Gengar that was hanging on the wall for a while. Just honestly, I'm gonna hang it somewhere else, but it just looks so out of place. She makes pinatas by hand, and I think that's so awesome. But I don't know. I'm artsy. What can I say? So I don't think that there's much else because there's a few other topics I want to get into, but I'm gonna save them. Um, the PRS one I'm totally gonna save. I feel like I've overhauled all of you guys with PRS stuff. I feel like there's a threshold that I can't go over when I talk about that brand on this channel because people they just they're either totally on board or they hate them and they don't understand why everything I do isn't just Japanese guitars or offsets. Well, I'm gonna need Fender to make better offsets, and I'm gonna need Fender to make them available in the United States. That's thing number one, and thing number two with the Japanese guitars. I mean, it's I have to really want it for myself. There's lots of great brands out there, but I'm not made of money, and I'm not gonna sit here and lose hundreds of dollars trying out guitars for YouTube. Sorry. Hate to break it to you, but we don't make as much money as people think doing this thing. So I just gotta look out for myself a little bit, and if I find something cool, I'll cover it. But that stuff was nothing. It was easy. You did guitars with graphics on them. Yeah, me too. It's just gotta be the right guitar. Just gotta be the right guitar. But that's where I'm gonna wrap today. As you can tell, we were already an hour late. I've been a mess, so I apologize for that. But it was important for me to hop on. Thank you all. Tomorrow, who knows? Honestly, the way this month has gone, maybe, maybe not. I can't make you any promises. I refuse to make any promises at this point. But there will be more videos at some point, and then next week for sure because it is NAMM, and honestly because it's easy. Let's just call a spade a spade. I can hop on and I can review a bunch of stuff, and I'm not going to be there, so it's just going to be easy to kind of follow along. Although I know a lot of people that are there, but I got to get to emailing some of the companies that I wanted to talk to at NAMM that I'm not going to be able to do that now. I got to do that today because they're about to be very busy and go from there. There are links in the description to people that are affected by the fire. Still, that's not going to go away. And you know what? I need to add links to the people that are still affected and freezing living in tents in North Carolina because that's still a thing. We talk about gear and all this stuff, but I don't know. Life's fragile. And that could be you. That could be me in any of those situations. Just like that. So appreciate what you have. Thank you guys. Not trying to get too serious, but it is quite serious for some. See you guys in the next one. Take care.